This reunion is 14 years in the making. Canadian Tim Laidler served in Afghanistan alongside his interpreter, Samander Passoon. When the Taliban took control last summer, Laidler helped Passoon's family escape and start a new life in Canada.
We have food and our kids can go to school peacefully.
For the past 9 months, Laidler's charity has helped to evacuate more than 2,000 Afghans who supported Canada's military mission. But that lifeline is about to be cut short.
And it's just a bureaucratic nightmare for a lot of these families.
As of May 2nd, their evacuation campaign will end. The biggest barrier, he says, isn't the Taliban, it's Ottawa. With Canada's embassy in Kabul closed indefinitely, Afghans must first escape to a third country before booking a flight to Canada. But neighboring nations are reluctant to let them in.
He promised us that he'll take us.
Even veterans who fought the Taliban now believe it's time for Canada to recognize the regime and reopen our embassy.
I certainly think it's worth it. Let's do some sort of recognition, get our embassies reopened, and then at least we can support the tens of thousands of people we've promised a place here in Canada.
Don't forget us.
We're protecting the identity of this Afghan father because he worked for the Canadian military and is approved to come to Canada. He's been trying unsuccessfully for months to get a visa for Pakistan. He's afraid to leave his home and struggling to feed his family.
We really need their help to help us.
He used to work in Kandahar at Camp Nathan Smith, along with Canadian veteran Dave Ward. Global News first interviewed the retired sergeant back in November. He spent 2 decades with the military and described how difficult it was to watch Afghanistan fall. But we had no idea just how painful until Christmas Eve, when Ward put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger.
Immediately, I regretted what I had done.
The bullet tore through his jaw, cheek, and forehead. But incredibly, he survived.
I'm very happy to be alive.
He's now finding refuge in music, friends, and his faith, but says the trauma from his tour in Afghanistan is compounded by helplessness and fear for those left behind.
It's so hard for guys like us that are operationally ready that want to go and help innocent lives. You know, it doesn't get utilized, and you're just watching everything on TV, and it's hard, man.
I think it's a very common struggle for a lot of veterans.
Their evacuation's over. Laidler's charity is now returning to its original focus, supporting veterans' mental health. And these days, demand for their services is overwhelming. Jeff Semple, Global News, St. Catharines, Ontario.